The Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah, I think well, I'd like to welcome you all this evening. It's always nice to see people in the audience besides staff. So I don't know whether it's because we have exciting things on the agenda tonight or whether it's just because you like to be in the new City Hall facility. But regardless of the reason why you're here, we're glad you came. The first item on tonight's agenda is the consent agenda. The listing under the consent agenda is a group of items to be acted upon with a single motion and vote. It's designed to expedite the handling of limited routine matters by City Council. I will ask if a citizen or a council member wishes to have any specific item removed from the consent agenda for discussion, and at that time, either a member of the public or a council member may request to remove an item prior to council's vote. The items on tonight's consent agenda include the approval of the work session and regular meeting minutes of May the 23rd, 2017, approval of the expenditure vouchers of June the 13th, 2017, approval of 4 special event permits for the Cortez Retail Enhancement Association. Those are for the third Thursday events that will actually begin this Thursday in Montezuma Park. They're off of Market in Montezuma. We hope we see you guys Thursday. Approval of a renewal outdoor dining license agreement with the Community Radio Project. Approval of a renewal medical marijuana center on-site optional premises cultivation license with Durango Organics. Approval of a renewal medical marijuana center on-site optional premises cultivation medical marijuana infused products manufacturing license with the Medicine Man. And that's it. Is there any one of these items that anybody would like to talk about in greater detail?
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I just had a chance to look at the additional expenditures, and I noticed one expenditure is listed twice for WCA construction. So,
where is that?
So it's listed on the first page, 4th from the bottom, and it's for $48,314. It's their first payment.
Oh, I see.
And it's listed also on the back page as the last thing, so that's why I caught it. It's just $48,000 twice stuck out. So I think we want to do additional expenditures, and I can do that math really quick, but we'd want to subtract that amount.
I come up, someone double check, $110,057 in a penny?
That's
what
I have.
Yeah. What did you come up with?
$110,057.01.
Thank you, Sharon, for catching that.
Sure, I mean, we wouldn't have written out 2 checks. We would have caught it eventually, but.
Yeah, I would say about the time you got ready to write the second one out. All right. Well, if there aren't any items to be removed or any other changes, may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented with the extra expenditures of $110,057.01.
Second.
Mark Beck.
Aye.
Carlson. Aye. Keel.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
McLaughlin. Aye. Sheets.
Aye. Right, we have no presentations this evening. At this time, citizen participation, if there is anybody in the audience that would like to address council, now's your chance. Please state your name and your address.
Well, I'm brave enough to try the tall podium. My name is
We can still see you.
At 206 Lakeside Drive, Cortez, Colorado. And as I mentioned last meeting, I've been here about 28 years. And I was able to see that you have tonight a well-drafted letter. Thank you, Shane. And I appreciate you incorporating many of the comments that the public gave at the last meeting. And we're excited to see you discuss this and hopefully have a unanimous 7-0 vote in favor of sending this letter on to our Secretary of Interior, because we all know how important our national monument, Canyon of the Ancients, is to our community. And I think I'll leave it at that and allow others.
Thank you.
Okay, and for council, Mr. Klein, I would just say normally if something's on the agenda, we don't take comments. There's a participation. I mean, I appreciate what you said, Mr. Klein, but really it should be like when we actually address that item on the agenda, when we take comments for the specific topic. So there's no problem. Just telling council for the future.
For clarification, I was advised that the board would be able to comment during the discussion.
Because it's under new business.
Okay, well, I think council is always taking comments from citizens, though. So it's not scheduled as a public hearing. That is true. But I've never seen this council not ask, allow people to come up and speak. So, and they may decide that they don't want to hear from you tonight. So if that's the case, I apologize. But I think everybody here feels strongly that you're the public and we want to hear what you have to say. Sure.
All right.
Hello, I'm Dale Bezant, back again, about community gardens.
Your address, please. Your address.
211 Central Street, Dove Creek, Colorado. We're looking to put community gardens in all around here. We have some materials if you'd like to look at them, some properties we've identified here in Cortez. If you all could let us know how they're going to fit in the master plan of things, and if there's any availability. We'd like to put gardens on, if I can hand that out to you.
Sure.
Some of them aren't colored. Oh, you can get one too.
Oh, I'm just the attorney. You don't have to waste one on me. Okay, thank you.
For legal reasons.
Okay. On colored ones there. Highlighted.
Thanks.
All the other ones I kind of just scribbled around with red pen.
Thank you.
Missed highlighted one. It's actually the baseball diamonds.
That's interesting.
Thank you.
If y'all could let us know anything about these properties and how they fit in the master plan, let's see where it is. That one and then just the one in that corner behind the baseball diamonds. We're working with Monsoon Water Company, trying to survey water on the places. Questions, comments, concerns, let us know. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for bringing this. I thought he was getting ready to speak. Is there anybody else that would like to step up to the podium?
Those are all Cortez City owned properties.
Okay, thanks. All right, if there's no one else that would like to speak at this time, we have a public hearing on ordinance 1224, Series 2017. Mike?
This is public hearing, second reading on an ordinance to approve purchase of real estate between the Fire Protection District and the city. Basically, this Fire Protection District, they're building their new fire hall downtown. They would pay to the city, to the penny, according to Sam, $14,442.69. And what we would be doing is trading them that fee, sort of in lieu, for the piece of property down on South Broadway, sort of a little bit south of the Johnson Center across the street. This is set for the public hearing. Tonight, before I forget, this is one of the, what do you call it, the Gateway Project locations. We'd be tearing down the house, making the property more susceptible to use as a pull-off and replacement for the entrance signs. Staff has inspected the property. I think the asbestos abatement's been done, so we're all ready to purchase. We just need the approval of this ordinance. So all the involved staff recommend approval.
All right. At this time, I'd like to open it up to public comment. Would anybody like to speak for or against? Basically, all that this is just a swap. Property in lieu of permitted fees for the new facility that the fire district is building. There won't be any exchange of cash.
Well, in Your Honor, I'd add, especially because we have MB McAfee here, you'll remember during the heart and soul process, we talked about having a pull-off on South Broadway that had a gateway sign and maybe some interpretive signage or something. This actually gives us the ability to do that. It's about an acre. The fire department owns it right now. They received it as a donation. They've used it as a practice house, so it basically has a lot of holes in drywall. So we'd scrape that in the garage and put a gateway sign up this year, and then develop that side as a nice pull-off. So it'll be still heart and soul. I just want you to know, I know you gave up about 300 nights for that, so we're still working on it, MB. Okay.
It's nice to know that project is, we're struggling to get it completed. Yeah. All right. Well, if there's nobody that wishes to speak for or against, council, are there any questions? I will close the public hearing and ask if council has any questions.
Shane, I remember we talked about it, but I didn't ever remember the answer. Is there going to be an entrance from this to Hawkins? Is that part of the plan?
Right. So this property connects to a city right-of-way, and then that connects to city property, and then that connects to Hawkins. So yes, we could conceivably build, have a trailhead up there, and have that trail that meanders down to the Hawkins Trail. If you have a chance to go up and look at it, it's pretty easy to see and to kind of envision how that could be built. I have met with Rebecca Levy, who's the cultural center manager, and just talked to her really 30,000 foot about our desire to do so, and she was really supportive. I realize she has a board, and so it's not like she promised away anything, but she thought it was really doable. So yes, that would definitely be part of the vision. But again, we have from the heart and soul process a really rough design, just kind of an idea, a concept of what we would build there. Our intent would be to bring a design firm in place and do some community charrettes and really let the public determine what happened there in addition to being a pull-off space. So I would think that we'd end up having a trailhead there, but I guess we'd kind of let the public determine that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We basically have already done that, though, haven't we? Didn't we? We had a lot of input on that southern entrance.
Yeah, but when you look at the plan that we had completed, it's a sketch that shows some planters in the center, some parking around it. We don't know what the planters would be. You know, we didn't really have a site in place, so we don't even know if really the layout would work. Mm-hmm. So I think we know conceptually we would want to have interpretive signage there, something about the community in the area. I think we know we want to give people a place to kind of stretch their toes. I mean, quite frankly, there's a great kind of natural overlook there that I think we could have as a nice handicap accessible rollout where people could have lunch and do some sightseeing. I mean, the site, I think, would kind of dictate some of those things, but I wouldn't feel comfortable saying, yeah, we're ready to build this all out today, because I think there's a lot of devil in those details. But really looking in, I think the grades work really easy to do a trail down to Hawkins. And like we talked about before, I think that we all agree there's so many great things in this community and so many picturesque things to see. but that's not South Broadway. You know, like all the things that are great to see, South Broadway isn't really the thing. You say, well, geez, when you come here, let me take you there. So I think that...
They've already been there when they come into
Right.
town.
So this really, I think, gives us opportunity to get people off that. And because I don't know about you guys, I get that comment a lot of, geez, I was in your town, I had no idea. You know, I got one block off Main Street, I had no idea you had this here. So I think this pull-off is just kind of that same idea, right? We just get them off the highway, they come out, and they can just kind of see those picturesque views. And if they want to get on the trail and walk around, and I think just discover a different part of Cortez is special.
Probably try to incorporate like Youth Conservation Corps into trail making and things of that nature as well. So
Absolutely.
Very low, if any, cost to the city.
Absolutely.
Okay. Are there any other questions, comments?
I have none.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve on final reading ordinance number 1224, series 2017, approving the purchase of real estate from the Cortez Fire Protection District.
Second.
Lucero.
Aye.
McLaughlin. Miller.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Archbeck.
Aye.
Sheets.
Aye. All right, moving on to ordinance 1225, series 2017, the sale of the old city hall to the Pinton project. Mike?
Are you going to do this, or is the mayor pro tem?
I'm sorry?
Is the mayor pro tem going to handle this, or are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, he is. Take it away.
Okay, moving on. Ordinance 1225.
I'm just unsigning it.
Real estate acquisition by the Pinion Project of the Old City Hall.
There's what is fondly referred to as a table setting, which was a change in the ordinance, a slight change which is allowed at second reading. And basically, normally I just do the ordinance to say the mayor, whoever that person may be, can sign, but because at this point in time, the mayor is also on the board of the Pinion Project, we changed it to authorize Mayor Pro Tem Ty Keel to be able to go sign the documents tomorrow, or Thursday at the closing. Basically, the ordinance it's exactly the same other than that. We have a contract, we have an offer and an acceptance. The Pinion Project will make a cash down payment. There'll be a note and deed of trust carried by the city for the balance. And so essentially what we're asking you to do is approve the sale of the old city hall to the Pinion Project, authorize the mayor pro tem to attend the closing and sign the necessary documents.
Noted. Council?
And I think the attachment explains the nuts and bolts of the deal.
Okay. Any conversations, concerns, council? I will. Yeah. Cool. At this time, I'd like to open it up to the public for comment on this issue. Seeing none, I close public comment. Any further discussion by council?
Sell it.
Sell it. I don't think that's an actual motion. At this time, I'd like council to make a motion, if you so choose.
All right. I'd make a motion that we consider, or that we approve on final reading ordinance number 1225, series 2017, approving the sale of real estate to the Pinion Project.
And authorize.
And does that need to be as amended?
As amended.
As amended.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
McLaughlin. Aye. Miller.
Aye.
Archbeck.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye. I just didn't have the gavel.
Oh, sorry.
Ordinance 1225 passes.
You just need to reach over and get it. Okay. All right. We have no unfinished business, so we'll move on to new business. Resolution number 11, series 2017, the Rural Jumpstart Program.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. So, council was briefed by Laura Lewis Marchino a couple meetings ago. She's the director of Region 9. She explained to you that the state has a program called the Rural Jumpstart, and what that program does is incentivizes businesses to relocate to Colorado. If they relocate to a county or city that offers the Rural Jumpstart, they avail themselves to some tax deductions from the state. They would not have to pay payroll tax for 4 years. from the county. They wouldn't have to pay any property taxes or business personal property taxes. And then by the city opting in, we would be agreeing to, hold in abeyance or not charge any sales tax or business personal property tax to that business for the first 4 years that they relocated. They would need to pre-qualify through the Rural Jumpstart program, so we wouldn't do that screening. But if they did, it would be our participation in that program. So the reason why it's a little risk to the city is that this isn't a business that we currently have, so it'd just be new employees, new payroll, new company coming to town. And they need to be non-competitive in the state. So really this would be somebody who's coming in who has something new.
I'm sorry, Shane, did you say they had to be non-competitive in the state?
Yeah, that's really the idea is so the example that I gave at the last meeting was I know a company was looking at Dolores County and they wanted to do some kind of hemp production, and it's just that's a pretty new emerging business, right? There's not hemp factories in the U.S. right now, so they were able to bring something new that wasn't here. And they were looking at Dolores County, and then they saw that Montrose County was in the Rural Jumpstart. And so they're thinking about, well, geez, with all these tax incentives, we'll just move up to Montrose, which was a good impetus for Dolores County to get into this program, which they are. So we're eligible to join, not only because our county qualifies, but because Montezuma County specifically has entered into the program. So we couldn't enter as a city unless our county was already a participant.
But it sure narrows the scope, though, when it's uniquely specific to the state.
Right. It does. And
that was county, our last discussion on it.
Right. And so this, I mean, really, to your point, if we offer this for the next 4 years, there's a chance we never have any takers. But, again, you never know those opportunities you miss if you don't kind of put yourself out there.
It might be a new experience, something different.
Right. True.
All right, are there any other questions or comments?
I have none.
Then may I have a motion?
Honorable Mayor, I make a motion to approve Resolution 11, Series 2017, authorizing participation in the Rural Jumpstart Program.
Second.
Carlson.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Archibald.
Aye.
McLaughlin. Aye. Lucero.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Sheep.
Aye. Now we're going to talk about the letter of support for Canyon of the Ancients.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, as you know, President Trump recently issued an executive order to the Department of Interior to review prior national monument designations and propose changes to modify or retract protections for these lands. At the City Council meeting on May 23rd, following 5 residents requesting the Council reconsider its position about sending a letter of support for canyons, Council directed staff to bring back a letter for your consideration, so that's attached.
Madam Mayor, I do have a comment on this.
Sure.
This subject has provided me with a very teachable moment, and as most of the time, I learn things by my mistakes. And I made mistakes in the way I argued my position on this issue. I allowed my emotions to take over, and I used sarcasm to make my point. I also said things that I hadn't thought through, and I said that I wanted the people to love me. I didn't mean that to get into the paper. But what I really wanted to say was that no matter how the people of Cortez feel about an issue, they should know that I will represent them in my job to review what the city government is doing and make sure it is doing what is best for the city. I was not elected to the city council to convey their opinion on the federal government. We have different views on this council, but we all want the same thing for this city. We want to serve and support the good things that are going on here in this city of Cortez. I am sorry for the way I behaved and promise to do better in the future. And if you are sitting next to me, you have my permission to kick me under the table if I get sarcastic. On that, I believe that this letter is political, and I will vote no. It does not represent my views.
I have one comment.
Thank
There's
you.
an
Thank you,
editing
Jen.
error. in the last thing, the city urges you to keep canyons intact, should be one word instead of 2 words.
Where are you? Oh,
Very last sentence. Sorry, I was a spelling bee kid.
well, did it just divide it there because there was space?
I'm certain that I have committed that grammatical error, so
Yes,
I
think
could,
you did.
I will combine that.
Just put a hyphen in there too.
Yeah, or hyphenate it. I like that too. Punctuation, it's important.
Well, actually, you can't because it's right and left justified, so. Thanks for catching that.
No problem.
Is there any other comment from council or any other questions on this letter? Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to share a comment? Okay. It's okay.
I'm Reed Bruger. I live at 340 East Montezuma here in Cortez. Thank you very much for having this on the agenda tonight. I especially want to thank the mayor for responding to the citizens who came out 3 weeks ago and asked that this happen, and want you to know that we appreciate it. Like Alan, obviously I'm sorry to hear that Councilor Miller is going to vote no. I was hoping it would be a unanimous vote. The governor, our 2 senators, our congressional representative have all written very similar letters to this, asking that the monument stay intact. It's clearly a nonpartisan citizen people's idea for the people of Colorado to have this monument remain as it is. Again, hopefully you could reconsider in the next couple of minutes. I don't expect you to, but please, as many of you as can, please endorse and let this letter be sent. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
I'm MV McAfee, and I don't live in the city, but I think it's okay if I talk.
Yes.
Thank you. 22277 County Road 20, and there's another grammatical error. Man.
We're just going to beat you up tonight.
Oh, now I can't see it. You've got the word second sentence of the next to the last paragraph, local archaeological. The word archaeological doesn't need to be capitalized. In fact, it shouldn't be capitalized. Okay, that's just not what I actually came up to say.
See, I knew that there was something wrong with this letter.
Well, there is nothing wrong with the intent of this letter. There's nothing wrong with the content, as long as it's sent in grammatically correct. I tend to be kind of a stickler about that kind of thing. I'm probably one of the few people in this room that was born and raised in Cortez. There are some others here, I know that, yes. So I know there are others. I don't mean to say I'm the only one. But I hiked around out in there in the 40s and the 50s with my dad, who was determined he would find uranium. We found Indian sites, archaeological sites. In those days, I'm sure we didn't take care of them. I don't remember picking anything up and carrying it away with me. I don't think that we did that. Since then, I've come to really appreciate archaeological sites on land. I've come to appreciate how much of an important thing the world of archaeology is to our county. So it would really be the strongest statement possible to have a 7-0 vote for this letter. I am disappointed, dismayed, and disheartened that the county commissioners did not see fit to write such a letter as well. I think it behooves you as city council folks to bring this to the highest level that you can. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to say I'm not opposed to the National Monument at all. I like the Antiquities Act. I think was a very important act. I think there was a lot of pilfaging of the antiquities. My in-laws and family members were involved in it. And so I'm in favor of the antiquities law. What I don't like is this letter saying that the new executive officer shouldn't have a review of the national monuments. I think any executive that takes over a situation should review to make sure that it fits the original intent of the Antiquities Act, and also to review whether or not they have enough funds budgeted to take care of it properly. So what I'm against is being against the review. I think the people have a right to decide. I mean, if they're going to review it, I think there's some people in the city that believe that the government should review it, and there's some that believe that the government is the source of all wisdom, and so therefore whatever the government wants to do, whatever the bureaucrats want to do, they should do it. And so I'm not against parks or the Antiquities Act or any of that stuff. I just don't believe that this is something that we should be doing as a city council, because there are no national monuments in the city of Cortez. That's all. That's my point.
We can have a short or a long conversation.
Well, maybe after. Maybe we could do that after. Yeah.
And the language of the letter doesn't discourage review. It just urges that the review not minimize what's in existence. So to me, I don't feel like we're telling them what to do. It's saying that they want that
It
result.
says any review should conclude that no
Yep.
changes.
I agree. The way I read that is that we are urging them, when they finalize their review, to make no changes.
How does this, and here I'm trying to kick me.
It's okay.
I'm not getting on this.
All right, well, let's,
disagree with
yeah.
anybody's
Yeah. Is there anybody else that would like to speak for or against
And
this?
before we speak, I would say if we have any more
Alan?
grammatical things, if you could just private message me versus, I'll take it, I'll put it in the letter, just don't, yeah,
I'm a terrible speller. I thought everything looked awesome.
thank you.
Shane, I'm not going to find any problems with your wording at this point.
Thank you.
I just wanted to follow up. Alan Klein, 206 Lakeside Drive, Cortez, Colorado. I would like you to follow I would be somewhat sarcastic, bold precedent that Scott Tipton and Corey Gardner took on this issue, writing a letter of support for continuing the Canyon of the Ancients. And clearly the letter doesn't criticize the review process, but generally thinking about the fact that each new administration could review designations under the Antiquity Acts could open the door for us to lose even national parks. So I think it would only be prudent to not go back in time and remove those types of things that have occurred. Because how far back could we go?
The Antiquity Act says that the secretary can make changes and rules, so how can they do that without reviewing it?
Well, I mean, I think the review doesn't mean to remove designations. That's what I think.
You're right.
Okay. All right.
Hi, sorry to keep this, but this is a very important part of our community, Canyon of the Ancients and our public lands. I'm new to Cortez, Colorado. I'm a music educator.
Your name and
Helen West.
And address, please.
14756 Road 21, Cortez, Colorado, 81321. Helen West. My parents have lived here since 2011. I've been visiting, and Canyon of the Ancients is my personal favorite hike. I'm hoping to get a teaching job here in Montezuma County. I'm teaching at Mancos this coming year, so this is an important community to me. I want to live here. Your letter states that the National Monument draws approximately 30,000 visitors a year, and if I'm not mistaken, we had a record number of visitors to this Cortez Visitor Center this past year since 1993. Tourism is growing in this community, if what you presented to the community is correct. So I think that that's an important element of our community, of developing our emotional, our ecological, our cultural, and our, most importantly, economical business. So I think that continuing the designation of Canyon of the Ancients National Monument as a national monument and your support for that is very, very important. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next.
Good evening, Council. My name is Chris Easton. I live at 1812 Rampart Street in Cortez. I'd like to touch on an indicator of the level of interest and support in our community for the Canyon of the Ancients National Monument. There's a group, and I am a former board member. I had to leave the board for personal reasons, but I will give you a little information on their behalf because I think it's interesting. It's called Southwest Colorado Canyons Alliance. And so basically what it is a friend of Canyon of the Ancients, the monument, providing services in support of the monument. The board includes several residents of the city of Cortez. And so the board has gone through some issues. It's been reconstituted. It's quite strong now. And what it will help do is provide services such as docents, tour guides, and so forth at Canyon of the Ancients at the Heritage Center. Heritage Center is a vital component of this community as far as I'm concerned. And that's one reason that the continuation of the monument status is so vital to us. There are a lot of other services that members of this group provide, site stewardship, they assist with leading tours, just whatever the group can do to leverage the staffing and guidance that's available to them from the Bureau of Land Management, working under their memorandum of understanding that establishes them as a formal friends group. I'll ask Diane McBride, who is the executive director and was on the former board that's now reconstructed. I'll ask her to provide some information to the city manager and request that he distribute it as he sees appropriate. I just think it's important to know that there is a grassroots effort or a grassroots feeling among many people in our community that they want to become involved in hands-on support of the monument. It shouldn't come as a surprise that many of these people are retired archaeologists who love their trade, love their profession, and that's what's brought them to retire in Cortez and brought many new, interesting, vibrant people to our community and to the county as a whole. And personally, I think it helps, the presence of the monument helps explain some of the economic development activities we're seeing in Montezuma County and in Cortez, where we look at the beautiful new homes that are being built and folks coming in because they perceive the quality of life that we have, but many of them have a specific bent, a specific interest in archaeology. So council is taking the right step for economic development in this community by supporting the request not to review or change the status of the monument. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. I think one of the things that you mentioned, Chris, is especially important maybe for us to think about just a little bit is the fact that the Southwest Canyon Alliance, that they're having people that are acting in the capacity as docents and people that are willing to go out and serve as stewards of the land. To me, what that indicates is that we have people in this community that are passionate enough about this particular area that they are willing to invest their time and their effort, in some instances, I'm sure too, probably funding to make sure that this particular monument provides value. And since there is a concern about the fact that we've got lots more land than we can possibly maintain with federal funding, it's nice to know that there are local individuals who are passionate enough about maintaining these properties that they're willing to volunteer to pick up the slack. So, are there any other comments from council?
Obviously, given that the financial and the recreational benefits are huge draw for Canyon of the Ancients maintaining its status. Also, I'd just like to point out that the past two meetings, we've not had one person come from the city of Cortez or the outlying area in opposition to this. And as a representative of the city, I really appreciate you guys coming out and showing your support, and I appreciate it.
All right. May I have a motion?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the attached letter requesting no changes be made to the Canyon of the Ancients National Monument.
Second.
And that's with the, I think, very minor grammatical errors being fixed. Right?
You're welcome.
Did you want me to read that over?
Unintelligible.
The way it is.
The very minor. All right.
Archibald?
Aye.
Keel?
Aye.
Lucero?
Aye.
McLaughlin? Aye. Carlson?
Aye.
Miller?
No.
Sheik?
Aye. Third time's a charm. All right. Well, I hope you guys don't all leave in mass now as we finish up the meeting. The next item on the agenda is a professional services contract with Noel Cooley. Shane?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. So Noel Cooley has decided to retire. So we're wishing her well. I've named Sandra Crow the interim Welcome Center manager. She was a part-time employee there all last year. She's been in the area a long time. She's a sharp lady. She knows a lot of people. I think she's going to do a very good job for us. And she understands that this interim appointment is good through basically Labor Day. Then we'll advertise for the position and she'll interview for it. And so, but nevertheless, we're really starting our tourist season, and we also have this week or next week, YouthWorks is coming to town, and that's going to be about 40 middle school and high school age kids that are coming here to volunteer. It'll be 40 or so different kids every week through August 5th. And a change that we made to Noel's job description a couple years in was we named her the volunteer coordinator as well. So this has been, it was a nice add to the position. I think it's something that fits well with the Welcome Center, and I think it's something that the ultimate director of the Welcome Center will be able to handle. I just don't feel comfortable asking Sandra, hey, take over this new job, and you've got all the tourists coming in, and oh, by the way, we got all these volunteer projects, because it's not just the children, it's all the outreach we've done with the faith-based community, it's all houses and public projects, and I just feel strongly that we've really pushed this out and really tried to promote the project and really try to put these kids to work for the benefit of the community. And I hate to lose my volunteer coordinator along the way. So what I'm requesting to council is that we contract with Noelle, and we contract with her for a few weeks. As you'll see, and there is a table setting, and it is a brief proposal. She's basically saying 10 hours per week for up to 7 weeks. She's requesting $30 an hour for that time, and which is more, it's reasonable amount. The contract itself we have as a 1-year duration, but she wasn't able to get insurance unless the contract was for a year, and we would require her to get insurance, saying the city is additional insured. And so the contract is a little bit open-ended for the time for a year, but I'm telling you on August 5th, it's sayonara. We'll just go through the youth works deal, and then I think we'll be able to take on other volunteer duties in-house.
But she will maintain her insurance for the entire year?
Well, she has to pay for it for the whole year, and that was the only way for her to receive insurance. They said that they wouldn't do it for a 7-week contract. They wouldn't insure for that. So I'm just letting council know it's my intent to just keep her on through the youth works contract. It's her intent to do the same. And so, that's the plan. The one amendment here is that in the agreement, we talked about Exhibit A and Exhibit B. Exhibit A being the description of services and Exhibit B being the price. Noel just gave this on one piece of paper, as you see about one paragraph. And so I would request that you consider approving the professional services contract with the amendment that we just refer to Exhibit A twice because it's going to contain both. So we'll just make this Exhibit A, and so it's a minor thing, but there just won't be 2 exhibits to the agreement. So
you're going to incorporate it into this contract?
yeah, it is, and it would have been in there. That the issue was that she was still trying to figure out things out with the insurance and her insurer, and the price that the insurer was going to charge her was reflected in the price that she's charging us. We talked about what fair compensation would be, and agreed that if she has to get insurance to cover the city, then that should be incorporated in. So that's the lateness of this, but yeah, this would be Exhibit A.
So the other thing I would say too is under Part 2 of the contract, I think what it's asking her to do is kind of vague. Coordinate with youth and workers to provide guidance. Can we take the language that's in a proposal and put that into the contract?
Kind of like the vague language.
Okay, the attorney says he likes it vague.
Right.
Debate.
Well, we got 2 attorneys, so we should have at least 3 opinions right now.
No, the only reason I'm asking though is provide guidance for what?
Right, well, and I think what we do refer specifically to the scope of services being this exhibit. And so this is what we're saying she needs to do is what's written down here.
Okay.
So she's working for $30 for 7 weeks. Huh?
10, up to 10 hours.
Yeah, you can try to renegotiate with her.
Oh, I got you. I was like, what are you talking about, really?
I'm trying to save money.
What's the Exhibit B that's referenced?
And that's what I'm saying, there is no Exhibit B.
Oh, okay,
It's
I'm
actually,
sorry, I misunderstood.
both of those are in this one sheet of paper, so we'll just refer to Exhibit A twice.
I misunderstood that, sorry. Okay, thank you.
Right, any other questions? May I have a motion?
Your Honor, I make a motion that we authorize the city manager to enter into a professional services contract with Noel Cooley for youth works.
Second.
McLaughlin. Aye. Archibald.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Sheep.
Aye. We have no draft resolutions or ordinances, other items of business. Does Ty need to handle this? Since it's the signing of the,
No, and so, Your Honor, we ended up
we're
incorporating
good on that
that
now, right?
resolution into the ordinance.
Okay, well, it's- okay.
So we had, the title company had said, geez, we need a resolution, and so we put this together. And then the attorney came back from his time in Pennsylvania, warmed up, and said, hey, let's just change the ordinance. So
Okay.
we did that instead. So there's,
all right, so we're good on that.
we are
Okay.
good.
Does he need proper ID or?
Yeah, the attorney definitely does.
Okay. We have an opportunity for some additional citizen participation. You guys all participated out? All right. The city attorney has no report. The city manager always has a possible update.
Yes, ma'am. I just have one thing to report. So this is a little update on the job incentive agreement with Osprey Backpacks. And so, as you'll recall, the agreement basically charged Osprey with creating 45 new jobs over the next 5 years. And each job that they create that meets our criteria, which is it pays the average Montezuma County wage, which is right about $33,000 a year. And after they've created this new job, they employ them in Montezuma County, and they've been there for a year, we credit back $5,000 against what they owe us for the property. So I'm happy to report that actually in 2016, they created 14 new jobs. Now, because of the criteria, one being that they need to have been employed for a year. So all but 4 of them didn't qualify for credit this year because they're newer. You know, they'd been there 6 months, 5 months or less. So we just certified 4 jobs for the year. But I'm just letting you know that there's a lot more coming. They actually have been bringing a lot of employees on board, and a lot of them are way over meeting the employment, the pay that we'd set as a minimum. So that's just a quick update. I know 4 new employees for the year isn't that exciting, but I'm telling you, it's really 14. And
at this pace, they will exceed the 45.
They will
a lot quicker.
Right. Yeah, I think that they're clearly doing good. But I just want to council to know that as a little touch back with you, because we just finished the first year, because it's all academic right now. You know, it's not like we're just saying on paper, okay, you owe us $20,000 less. So we got off to a little bit slower start, but we just got them certified over the last couple of days. So I wanted the council to know that.
So we can't get the property back.
I don't think we want it.
All right, that's good news. Where's my paper? All right.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Linda gave me a note. Tomorrow night is the city picnic. We will be at City Park, right next to the parking lot where the pool is. We're just kind of on that north section, right along Montezuma. Please come by. Does it start at 5? Yeah, it's going to start at 5 o'clock. So please come by. It's a great time. We'll have fun games for the kids. We're going to open up the pool kind of afterwards and just kind of have a night swim as well. And then bring a side dish as long as it's not potato salad, because that is inedible. So thank you.
That is strictly based on a personal preference. Bring as much potato salad as you want.
It's based on taste buds. I'm telling you, it's not.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any committee reports, council members?
Historic preservation. They spent some time talking about the new land use code. It's my understanding the historic preservation part has been done. Linda and Dale kind of disagreed on whether or not it should be reviewed and comments and whatnot. Tracy kind of tried to deflect anything, and ultimately we decided to let it lay for now. The Grange is actually back in play with the historic, the county society. They are going to have storage there. They're fumigating it right now, and they're making sure it's
this is the old Lakeview school.
Yeah, over at Lakeview. Yeah, that's going to be where they're going to store all the archives and all of the artifacts that have been collected. And so they're making sure that it is both structurally sound as well as safe for the preservation of these ancient items. So they're working on that. And then they did some updates on the Historic Preservation Day. They had, I think, what she said is one of the better turnouts they've had. I think she said they had 29 people show up.
This is the
Unfortunately,
city of
my son had a
Parsian.
baseball game, so I didn't go. But yeah, they had a really good turnout this year for that.
Let me ask you, why couldn't they use the Grange as their museum?
They were worried about insurance issues as far as people doing it, but it's not off the table.
Okay.
And the Lakeview School potentially is where they're trying, because it's just being.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, since they're right next door, it's being discussed, but it's just a discussion.
Okay. All right. Any other?
Golf Advisory Board met. There's discussion. There's some work being done on a couple of different holes at the golf course. Revenues are up by $27,000 as of late last month, which is good news. There was discussion by members of the Men's Association as well as staff about the possibilities of an additional job. Youth report, Denver Blue talked about the girls' golf team. There was discussion of egress and ingress at the golf course and the city's position on such. That's what to highlight.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. report on the workshop. We had a discussion on the age of our water lines, which was really depressing because we've got a lot of old water lines. The estimation right now that if we just replaced transmission and distribution lines just in the section from Maple to Mildred, it would cost us over $5.5 million, and that's just a small portion of all of the really old water lines that we have. We're
gonna pass the hat.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't want you guys to leave. And as Phil said, I mean, it's not that Cortez has necessarily been remiss in taking care of this infrastructure. We're just like every other community throughout the United States. This is one of those things that is very expensive to do, and so when you get ready to do it, not only is it expensive, but it's also disruptive. And we've been plugging along and doing a good job, but we also need to start taking a serious look at how we're going to lay out the replacement of some of these things over time in a way that will be the least expensive, that we can actually fund somehow, and that hopefully will not result in every council member being stoned by the citizens because they're so distraught over the inconvenience. So anyway, actually it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we have people on the city staff that are really aware that this stuff needs to be taken care of. Probably for most of us, we only know that it's a problem when the water line breaks outside our house, or we have to take a detour because they've gotten a section of the street torn up. So I'm really appreciative that Phil and Shane and the other staff members are looking at this. Although, as I said tonight, it's kind of like buying tires for your car. I'd much rather buy a new car than buy new tires. But the truth is, if you don't have good tires, you can't make the car drive either. So it's just a fact of life. So we talked about that. We've talked about also extending the hours of operation for city services from 7:30 to 5:30. Shane's been doing some observation. He's noticed that there are people here in the buildings at 7:30 in the morning, and many are still here at 5:30 and sometimes later than that. And since the desire has been, especially since we've moved into this new facility, to make it as convenient for our citizens to come down and engage in take care of city businesses, that we thought if we could add on that extra hour, it might give some people a little time in the morning to stop by and get some of their city business taken care of before they go to work, or have a little extra time in the afternoon when they get off of work. So they're going to work those schedules out and make it, we're not hiring new staff members, we're just juggling the schedules around so that we make it more convenient. And I think that's I'd like to applaud the city for looking at that, because being cognizant of citizens' needs, I think, is a real important thing. We keep saying we want to provide service to our citizens, but we need to be open when they need those services. So that's supposed to start July the 3rd, and so we'll see how it works. There'll probably be some things that we need to work out on that. We talked a little bit about a memo from the Men's Golf Association requesting that we perhaps, and Ty alluded to it, perhaps hire a superintendent for our golf course, and so they're going to be looking into that and exactly what that position would entail and how to do that. We talked about something else, too.
Yeah, the rec center HVAC.
Oh, the HVAC system for the rec center. So, oh, that's what it was. And the possibility of maybe providing rec center discounts or other golf discounts, that kind of thing, for people who serve on advisory boards. So that was
Honorable Mayor. Could I mention one other thing? There's about 70 kids turn out for the junior golf program, which was pretty cool.
Wow.
And also there was the Robbie Yates Memorial Golf Tournament held Friday.
And how many?
And it was really well attended.
Well, yeah, it always is. So I'm not exactly sure how many, but I'm sure it's around the same number that was in the junior golf.
Good, good.
Thank you.
Well, to add on to the documentary that the monthly documentary that the library does in conjunction with the Sunflower Theater, and I can't remember the title of the movie, but it's a documentary on the Dakota Access Pipeline. as well as, actually, they gave a fairly balanced view of the developing some of these mineral assets or not. It had a really big turnout. I would say that there were, what, did Eric give you a figure? There were over 50, probably more than that, because I'm sure that upstairs was full too. The offshoot of that, and I didn't realize it, but apparently Sunflower would like us to call, to make a reservation, just because we're getting lots of people coming to those, and just so that they know how many to plan for. So if you haven't been to that first Thursday of the month documentary, watch for it and plan to go sometime. Eric's done a good job of choosing some really interesting things. So I think that is it. Is there anything else for the good of the city?
It's all good. Let's go.
It's adjourned. The rest of you can leave. Thank you.